Live from San Diego, California.
We go live to the newsroom with your host
for Nick's Nerd. What's up, guys? It's me, your host, Nick. Welcome to Nick's Nerd News. This is episode 173, folks. 173 weeks I've been doing this. Give or take a couple. It's wild, isn't it? I don't know what I'm doing with my time. I don't know how I fill all these minutes for you guys. But hey, look at that. We're into September already. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that 2021 would move at a record pace while 2020 moved at a snail's pace, huh? It is wild. I cannot believe how quickly we've gotten to almost 2022. And it's been a crazy wild year, that's for damn sure. But I can't wait for what's on the horizon, right? I'm very excited to see where things go in the future. Not necessarily here, but just in general. You know, a lot of cool games coming out. Halo. We are literally 3 months from the day of the launch of Halo Infinite. 3 months from today, Halo Infinite launches on PC and Xbox. Free-to-play multiplayer. I am stoked on life. I can tell you that right now. I am stoked on life. But hey, just want to throw out some things. You know, I'm still shoutcasting for the 101 Esports League based out of Oceanside. Tomorrow night will be our second night of Pokemon Sword and Shield competition. Last week I got my ass pretty much handed to me. Not gonna lie, I got wrecked. I did put up a good fight. It wasn't like quick and out for me. It was not. I will be competing and shoutcasting. You can follow us on the 101 League at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, on twitch.tv/the 101 League. Then on Friday night, we're going to be shoutcasting Smash Ultimate, and that's going to be from 6 to 10. Make sure to check us out on Switch. And then again on Saturday from noon to 4, Super Smash Bros. Melee. And have a lot of fun just hanging out with the guys and chatting about gaming and different things while you guys watch some awesome competition go down on Nintendo Switch and GameCube on Saturdays. But that's the 101 League. Great friends and partners over there. Make sure to check them out. Tomorrow and on Saturday, we're at Panels Comic Book Coffee Bar. Great little comic book shop, local comic book and coffee shop. You know, support local. Always good to see that. But moving right along. Hope you guys got that reference. Let's get just right into just the gaming news today. Not a whole lot today. Short episode. Just like last week. Not too much going on in the realm of just everything in general. Just it's been somewhat of a slow couple of weeks. Let's like I said, let's just get right into the thick of it here. You know, I want to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or Horizon Forbidden West. However, the real name is Horizon Forbidden West. A lot of people are going to call it Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or Horizon 2. And while, you know, PlayStation had originally announced that all upgrades would be free or whatever from PlayStation 4 to PS5, that is increasingly becoming not the case. And it turns out that Horizon Forbidden West will be the final game to get a free upgrade to the PS5 version. And following that, all games will be $10 to upgrade. Which a lot of people are upset with, obviously. It first came out that it wasn't going to be free. And then it came out that it was. It's a lot of mess surrounding one of their biggest games of the fall, and it's not a good look. It is not a good look on them, especially when Xbox is, and plus they're charging $70 for, you know, PS5 games, and it's not a good look when over on Xbox you literally just, you know, own the game on all of them. And the save transfers, don't even get me started on save transfers, okay? And I swear to God, I hope they don't do that for Horizon Forbidden West, because that's just like it's anti-consumer. It really is, and everybody knows it. It's just it's dumb. However they handle this, but they did announce the different like collector's editions of the game, and they're really sick actually, because they come with a Tremor Tusk statue, which is the new like big machine, and it's the like the elephant looking one. So there were two versions, the $250 Regalia version and the $200 collector's edition, which I don't understand why there's such a small price difference in the collector's editions. The Regalia edition, which unfortunately is sold out, it came with a steelbook display case and the steelbook, mini art book, a Regalia version of the Tremor Tusk and Aloy statues. It comes with a replica focus, a stand for it, 2 art cards, Claw Strider machine strike piece, and a Sunwing machine strike piece. It also comes with full game for both PS4, PS5, digital soundtrack, digital comic book, the Karja Behemoth Elite outfit and short bow, the Nora Thunder Elite outfit and sling, the Apex Claw Strider machine strike piece, in-game resources pack, photo mode, which unlocks a special pose and face paint, and a legacy outfit and spear of the Nora. Those were all available in the Regalia version. In the regular collector's edition, which is $200, it comes with almost the same. You don't get the replica of the I just said it, the stupid thing that's on our head. The focus. You don't get the focus. You don't get some of those strike pieces. You don't get a canvas map or the cards. But I mean, you get a lot of the other stuff. You get the art book, the comic, the soundtrack, the steelbook, the display. But this version comes with a regular Tremor Tusk and Aloy statue, not the regular. And that one is only available in limited quantity, so that one's sold out like almost immediately. The regular or the collector's edition, the $200 one, is still available. The $259, the 261 is out of stock now. And then there also is, of course, several other versions of the game. You get like a digital deluxe version and things like that. So then there's the regular Forbidden West Special Edition, which is a steelbook, and you get the disc edition of it, which I guess in the collector's edition you get a digital version of the game, even though you're getting a steelbook, which I don't. This version is $79.99. You get the Nora Legacy outfit and spear and the mini art book. That one is, like I said, $79.99. Then there's the regular version, which is $69.99, and that's just the launch edition. Look at them copying Xbox. And like I said, that's $69.99 on PS5 only. Then there's a $60 version, which is the PS4, PS5. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't get it at all. their pricing strategy. I think those are digital versions. I don't know. But that is Horizon Forbidden West. Again, that will release on February 18th, 2022. So in about 6 months, give or take. We also got more information about Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which is the Super Smash clone. That is going to release potentially in October now. We've gotten some new gameplay showing off new characters. Like today, they released gameplay showing off SpongeBob and Patrick and April, and Cat Dog was announced a couple weeks back. And the gameplay doesn't look great from me. It looks kind of slow, and it doesn't look. It doesn't look clean. And I don't know if it's because it's pre-release or if it's like beta still or something, but it doesn't look clean, and that's my issue with it. I'm sure they will figure it out before launch, and if it does launch in like a couple weeks, I have a lot of concerns, but I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that too much. But we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. Also, be on the lookout for updates to Nintendo Switch Online, the eShop, as this is yet to be confirmed, but there are rumors swirling that Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games may be headed to the platform. They may be headed to the platform soon. I would not be surprised if it's true, and it makes a hell of a lot of sense. It really does. But we'll see what happens. I think it's a smart move for them to do it, if they do it. I would bet on it, personally. If you're looking to get your hands on a new console and haven't gotten one yet, or any potential other new console that's coming in the near future, like, the Steam Deck, or even the Analog Pocket, which we've talked about, speaking of Game Boy, or even the new Nintendo Switch OLED, well, it looks like the chip shortage is probably going to continue through next September. They're looking at least another year of the semiconductor shortage for chips through the fall of 2022. And that's frustrating. That's so frustrating on so many levels. I cannot even begin to fathom how frustrating that is. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. And yeah, I don't know. It's really shitty, if you ask me. I feel bad for a lot of people. Hell, I want that Analog Pocket, and it's like, I don't think I'll ever get my hands on one like right away. And first world problems, obviously, but it still kind of sucks, Destiny 2 recently added crossplay, allowing people to finally play with their friends on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC all together. And what it didn't have right away, though, was it didn't have the ability for cross-play voice chat. Well, a new patch has been added, and there is finally cross-play, cross-chat, voice chat, so you can talk with your friends while you're playing, and you don't have to worry about like using some kind of alternative service or anything like that to be able to talk to your friends. A lot of people, of course, are more than likely going to be using Discord still and things like that. But it is no longer necessary. Also announced next year, when Overwatch League kicks off in the spring, they're actually going to start using early builds of Overwatch 2. So the professional Overwatch players will start using early versions of Overwatch 2, early builds, so they can get their hands on it ahead of time. That will allow the developers to make some necessary changes This is very interesting to see because it's rare that you see a professional esports league use a like beta of a game or an early build of a game, because it's granted Overwatch 2 looks like it's going to be like Destiny 2, where it's pretty much the first game just all over again. But again, I could be wrong, but it's going to be interesting to see how it affects competitive play for sure, because there might be a lot of bugs and a lot of competitors might not be happy with how that plays out. So I am a little concerned with that personally. I don't know. I do not know. And then recently we got a new interview from PlayStation boss, well, I should say former PlayStation boss Sean Layden. And if you remember, he actually left PlayStation like almost out of nowhere in September of 2019. So it's been about 2 years. I'd been with Sony for 32 years at that point, and never really gave a reason. He was being interviewed by Bloomberg of all places, and his quote for leaving the company was, quote, "It's a young person's activity. I felt this is a good time to put the pin in my legacy," unquote. He also went on to say that it has to do with burnout. He was trying to avoid burnout. I mean, then you look at like Phil Spencer on the other side, and he's been with Microsoft, I think, almost the same time. He talked about his accomplishments. He also went on to say, quote, "That seemed like a good time to step off the top and allow another generation to take the PlayStation 5 to market," unquote. He also said, quote, "I think I took a look at my time at the moment and I saw best to take it, and I couldn't be happier," unquote. So it's an hour-long interview with Bloomberg. He is also on the advisory board at Streamline Media Group. The interview is with him as well. And he talked about the rising costs of AAA game development, if you guys want to check it out. And he said, quote, "If we can't stop the cost curve from going up, all we can do is try to de-risk it. That puts you in a place where you're incentivized towards sequels," unquote, which that makes sense. Very makes sense. So if you guys want to hear more of his insight and his reasons why he left PlayStation and what he's doing now, you can check out his interview with Bloomberg. Also, totally announced this week, after it was leaked, Alan Wake Remastered is coming. We don't have an official release date, but it will be coming in the near future. It is going to be the original game with all updated visuals, character models, 4K. Both expansions will be included. Now, this is a game that came out in 2009, and you guys know I've talked about Alan Wake ad nauseum, right? It is a game that you should not sleep on. And if you have... 2010. It came out in 2010. If you have never played it, you need to play it. So luckily the remaster is coming to PC, Xbox, PlayStation. The original was a Xbox exclusive. But I wonder how they're going to do the product placement in this one. But Alan Wake is hands down one of Remedy's best games. And Remedy is known for making great games. I mean, look at Control. But Alan Wake, do not sleep on this game. Please, if you have a chance, get the remaster. If you like thrillers, if you like mind benders, if you like suspenseful games that make you think, Alan Wake is the game to play. It is amazing. I'm telling you, it is one of the best games from 2010. Do not sleep on Alan Wake. Also, we got news about whatever the next Mass Effect game is going to be, if it's Mass Effect 5, if it's Mass Effect 4. I think it should just be Mass Effect 4 because technically Andromeda is like a spin-off. Some people are calling it Mass Effect 5 and counting Andromeda as 4, which is really weird. But in news that will please probably just about everyone, BioWare is considering going back to Unreal Engine for whatever the next Mass Effect ends up being called. Granted, a lot of the hate that Andromeda got was because they switched to Frostbite, and a lot of people realized that maybe Frostbite wasn't ready for prime time. for that kind of game, and it was kind of obvious in that situation, but it looks like they may be going back to the where they belong, and they're going to use Unreal Engine, and more than likely Unreal Engine 5. So that is very good, very, very good to hear. Today also, this is our final bit of gaming news. Like I said, not a whole lot going on today. Forza Horizon 5 and Playground Games and Turn 10 have announced a list of cars coming to Forza Horizon 5, and they announced 426 cars, and that's not even all of them. There's going to be more than 426 cars in Forza Horizon 5. That is a wild thing to think about. I can't even, like, I did see the Warthog was back, so that was cool. The Supra is going to be in it, so Toyota's coming in Forza for the first time at launch. Like, we've never had Toyotas at launch in a Forza game, so there's that. There's a lot of Mercs, there's a lot of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I wish they would put the new Lamborghini Countach that they just announced. Like, it's like an anniversary Countach. But 400 cars, and the 2021 Ford Bronco of all things. But hey, 426 cars, and it's not even the full list. I'm literally in shock right now. That is wild to me. That is wild. I can't wait. Comes out in November. November 9th. November 9th. So 2 months from tomorrow. That's it for gaming. Next week, hopefully, I'll have some reviews of Deathloop. That does come out next Tuesday. And we are getting into the fall season here, folks. Deathloop releases on the 14th of September, so that's next week. Then next up is Far Cry 6 on October 6th. Then Guardians of the Galaxy on October 26th. I still haven't decided if I'm going to get Call of Duty this year. I'm a little not happy with Activision still. Age of Empires 4 comes out on the 23rd of October. Jurassic World Evolution 2 comes out on November 9th as well, so I'll be talking about that in November. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remasters, so Shining Diamond and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, November 19th. Then, of course, Halo Infinite on December 8th. And then Pokemon Legends Arceus and Horizon Forbidden West in 2022. So that's what my game calendar is looking like for the fall. Nothing too crazy this year, unless something gets announced in the next couple weeks. But I doubt anything new is going to get announced coming out for the next few months. It's a stacked season, and that's not even everything. That is the list I'm looking at right now. But again, that is it for gaming. I do want to talk about TV here a bit. Pokemon Evolutions was recently announced. It starts tomorrow. It's a new web series from Pokemon. It's an 8-episode series that will highlight different major lore events from Pokemon canon, and it will provide new perspectives on different things. It looks like a new take on Pokemon Generations, which came out a couple of years ago, which kind of like followed the different main trainers from the games. And this looks like it's going to provide a different perspective on those things. And actually, it's going to work in reverse chronological order. So it'll actually start with a Galar episode. And that, I think, is going to be on the Pokemon YouTube starting tomorrow. We also got our first trailer for Amazon's The Wheel of Time series. This show looks bonkers. And Amazon, of course, went like all out on budget. And if this show is any indication of what they're willing to spend, then I am very excited to see what they do with their Lord of the Rings show. Now, I know Wheel of Time is a very popular book series. I don't know if it's on the same level as Lord of the Rings and some other things, but from what I'm very interested in watching this show, and it looks really good. Rosamund Pike and some other people. It looks like a nice mix of like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and other high fantasy stuff. It looks like a nice blending of them, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And then today, of all things, was Star Trek Day, and it was all going down just a few hours ago. It ended. We got a whole bunch of news about Star Trek shows. Discovery Season 4 will premiere on November 18th. Unfortunately, there was no trailer. We also got news regarding Strange New Worlds, which is the new show that will follow Captain Pike as he is captain of the Enterprise, so before the events of the original series. And we got like a first look, essentially. It's not a trailer, but like showing off the characters, and I don't like the outfits at all, and they have this weird look on their eyes. It's very strange. It's a very strange thing. I don't understand what is going on with the picture here. But we got the announcement of new cast members. So Anson Mount, of course, is playing Captain Pike, and Rebecca Romijn is playing number 1, or Una, and Ethan Peck is coming back, of course, as Commander Spock. But the new cast members that are coming are who's this? Cecilia Rose Gooding will be playing a younger version of Uhura. Jess Bush will be playing the role of Christine Chapel, and Babs Olusanmokun will be playing Dr. Mbenga, who is the captain of the Enterprise when Bones isn't around. Those are people playing established characters. We also got announcements of a couple new characters. Bruce Horak is playing Hemmer, who is an Andorian joining the crew. Also, Christina Chong will be playing a character called Laan Noonien Singh, which is very interesting and strange because that is the same last name as Khan, of course, Star Trek's most famous villain. And then we are also getting Melissa Navia playing Erica Ortegas. We don't have a premiere date. Like I said, we don't have a trailer, unfortunately. I don't like these new outfits at all. They're very strange. That will be premiering sometime in 2022. I don't understand why we don't have a trailer. They've been filming for a while, but I've already seen online people are hating on these outfits more than the ones in Discovery Season 2, which were really dumb. I hate those collars. We also got a trailer for Star Trek Prodigy, the animated show that was supposed to be on Nickelodeon but moved to Paramount Plus. That is premiering in the fall. I think it's in November. I want to know when this takes place, and I want to know why Janeway is taking on somewhat of a British accent. That's my question for that show. And then we got a new trailer for Picard Season 2. That will drop in February of next year. And it was also renewed for Season 3 at the same time, so that was great to hear. However, my issue with Season 2 is it looks like it's going to be too much of a time travel show. The trailer shows off that Q comes back, messes with the timeline, and it looks like we're living in an alternate universe based off the one. It looks like the Starfleet and the Federation never really make peaceful amends on the planet, and like it's not the Terran Empire, but like the shitty world governments from like the late 20th century, from like Star Trek Past, if you remember. And then they have to go back to like modern LA to change the time. Like, why can't we get like Picard going off doing diplomatic missions? And then with that, the Borg Queen is coming back as well. The Borg Queen was recast as well. But I just... Oh, God. I'm a little concerned with how they're taking Picard now. They're a little much too focusing on rehashing some stories. And that's a concern for me. And I was hoping they would do a little bit more with Q than just a time travel, alternate universe, timey-wimey thing. And that's unfortunate. But granted, it's just a trailer. It could be like 3 episodes that they do that. And then the rest of the season is not. So we will see. We will see how that all plays out. Also, ahead of the Rick and Morty season finale, which was on Sunday, Adult Swim started airing live-action Rick and Morty promos starring Christopher Lloyd, of all people. And Rick and Morty has come full circle now. The original, it was Doc and Marty that Justin Roiland came up with, which was a parody on obviously Doc and Marty from Back to the Future. Then, of course, we had Rick and Morty, which was an evolution of Doc and Marty. And now we have live-action Rick and Morty, which is Christopher Lloyd. And then I can't think of the name of the actor who played live-action Morty, but he's from, not Stranger Things, but he was in the It movies. He plays young Will Denborough in the It films. Or was it Will? Was the character Will? Anyway, that was cool to see. And then you think he's turning into a pickle, and he's not. He just picks up the pickle and eats it. But no, it's good. If you want to check out live action Rick and Morty with Christopher Lloyd, those are all on YouTube, and it's fucking great. And then I do want to talk about just a couple of reviews before we go into movies. What If had its best episode yet. 100%. It was all about Doctor Strange. And instead of like an event, a certain event changing like the story, this was a certain event changing a character and how they reacted to it. So it was already a different universe, but it's an event in that universe that breaks Doctor Strange and everything that he goes through. And it turns out it's possible to have 2 timelines or 2 characters existing in the same timeline. Just one in the past, one in the present, as we get with Prime Strange and other Doctor Strange. And we get to see a Doctor Strange if he was left to his own devices, right? If he didn't stop himself, if Wong didn't like get through to him, if he was just completely broken, and what he would do with that and how he would handle that information. He turns into this dark, evil Doctor Strange, if you will, and he essentially causes his own universe to collapse, right? Which is very interesting because the Watcher almost intervenes for once. He merges with the other Doctor Strange, and a lot of people now are wondering if this like dark and twisted Doctor Strange is the one that was in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Because this Doctor Strange is someone who would take those risks, who would go out on a limb. And New Rockstars, a really great YouTube channel I follow, they pointed out, so the Doctor Strange we know from the MCU, of course, has hands covered in scars from his crash and his surgery and all that. That's why he went to Kamartaj. In the What If episode, Doctor Strange is not severely injured in that crash. Christine is the one who dies. And he obviously is not going to have scars on his hands. Whereas when you look at the Doctor Strange in the No Way Home trailer, and I know it's a trailer and Marvel's famous for putting stuff in trailers that's not in the movies and hiding shit and twisting it, that Doctor Strange that's performing the spell has perfectly clean hands that do not have scars on them. So, a lot of people are wondering if this Doctor Strange from last week's What If is the Doctor Strange. He escaped his collapsing universe and is now in the main MCU timeline and is influencing Peter Parker. But we'll find out soon enough. And then I do want to talk about the season finale of Rick and Morty. It was a 2-parter, and it was a very interesting show. The first episode was very interesting in terms of like Rick picking 2 crows over Morty and how smart the 2 crows are. It was funny. And then like the crows come to Earth and like fight, and it's just it was ridiculous. It was pure Rick and Morty ridiculousness. But then what we don't expect is Rick takes off with the Two Crows, leaves Morty, and starts his own show, Rick and Two Crows. And what we're treated to as it ends, the second episode is where we get a awesome anime-inspired beginning with Rick and his Two Crows. And I don't even know how to describe the outrageousness that it was. That's how ridiculous it was. Like, it was just what you wouldn't expect from Rick and Morty. And actually, you would expect it from Rick and Morty. And that's 2 anime-inspired episodes this week. Rick becomes this, like, dark wizard-type character, all decked out in, like, dark stuff, because he's, like, a crow master, or whatever you want to call him. And it was hilarious. But it turns out we go back to the Citadel of Rick's, and Evil Morty is heavily involved, and the timelines are broken, and Rick and Morty get in a massive fight, and a lot of Ricks and Mortys are subsequently killed as Evil Morty concocts his plan and escapes into a new universe with a new yellow portal, and we're left watching our Rick and Morty C-137 in a, like, escape pod of the Citadel, essentially drifting off, and we don't know where they go. So this could be, some people are saying a whole reboot for the series. Some people are wondering if we're ever going to see Rick C-137 again, how this is all going to play out, because this opens the door for so many different possibilities for Rick and Morty moving forward. And my main question is, I thought there was a Vindicators episode coming this season. I guess I was wrong. But if and when, I know season 6 is coming, I hope we don't have to wait too long for it. But it is going to be a wild ride for when it does come out. I will say that for sure. But season 5 ended with a fucking bang. And it blew the Rick and Morty verse up for sure. That is it for TV. I do want to go into movies here a bit. We got our first look. James Wan shared a picture of Aquaman in his new stealth suit. Why Aquaman needs a stealth suit is beyond me. He's already in the ocean. And then he also showed off pictures of Patrick Wilson as Ocean Master, looking like he's been adrift at sea for about a decade, based off his hair and beard. Which, I wonder if there's going to be a time jump in Aquaman 2. I mean, obviously there's going to be a time jump, but what I mean is by, like, how long? How many years are they going to put in between them? Are they going to do the 3 years like it's been since the movie? Since the first one came out? Are they going to do, like, 5 or longer? But Aquaman has a stealth suit now, which, again, I don't know why he would need a stealth suit. The next Pokemon movie, the Secret Jungle, the something jungle, will premiere on Netflix in October. It came out in theaters, I think, last year in Japan. I know it was supposed to come out this year in theaters. But it has moved to Netflix instead, which Netflix is becoming the new home for Pokemon, if you were not aware. That's definitely what's happening. And then a lot of news has been floating around right now about the Marvel Universe and the Russo Bros and the Scarlett Johansson thing. And so it came out today that Scarlett Johansson actually asked for $100 million in return for the Black Widow, even though she made 50. A lot of people are like, did it even make enough for you to warrant that money? Anyway, the Russo brothers were apparently in talks for directing another Marvel movie. And don't look at the headlines, because the headlines are a lot of clickbaitiness. And it's like, oh, they're hesitant to direct another Marvel movie because of the Black Widow lawsuit. And it's not necessarily in support of Scarlett Johansson, but more in line with how will it affect their cut, their percentage. Because obviously, if they direct a movie for Marvel Studios, they want to make sure that it goes out in theaters and doesn't get quote unquote like shafted by being on Disney Plus. So that is their thing. It's not necessarily them standing in solidarity with ScarJo. It's more in line with like, if we do this movie, are we going to be compensated fairly for it, and are we going to get the money we deserve to direct it? And I get it. I 100% get it. But if Shang-Chi coming out and dominating box office records is any indication, I don't think the Russo brothers need to be too worried. Shang-Chi is breaking box office records, both pandemic records and Labor Day weekend records. Shang-Chi made $94 million this Labor Day, and that is the highest Labor Day opening weekend. It was a 3-day total. So normally it's a slow weekend at the box office, but it made $75.5 million, which is way more than 2007, when the last time the Labor Day weekend was broken. And Halloween, the Halloween reboot, the Rob Zombie movie, made $30 million in 2007 Labor Day. That is wild that Shang-Chi made $75 million on a Labor Day weekend in a pandemic year, breaking a 14-year-old record. A 14-year-old record for Labor Day weekend movie opening. And that is what, and of all movies, it was Shang-Chi, which is fucking great, by the way, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. That's fucking wild, man. It broke records. And people were worried that it might flop or some shit. And it's actually the best opening for a movie since March 2020, when the pandemic started. So Black Widow made $80.4 million in its opening weekend, in less theaters than Shang-Chi. So that tells you something. But Shang-Chi made $75 million, and obviously it made more over the 4-day weekend. Fast 9 made $70 million, so that's number 3. A Quiet Place Part 2 at $47. Jungle Cruise at $35. Godzilla vs. Kong at $31. Space Jam at $31. Free Guy at $28. The Suicide Squad at $26. And The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, rounding out the top 10 at $24 million. Almost all of those movies have released in 2021. Calendar year 2021. There has not been a single movie that broke the $20 million barrier in since March of 2020 in 2020. All films that broke the $20 million barrier released in 2021. And then, yeah, that's crazy. Shang-Chi, go see it if you haven't yet. And I want to talk about this article I saw a couple of days ago, and it was in regards to the Jackass guys, which I'm still upset that I got moved to February. But the Jackass crew, so Johnny Knoxville, Bam, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Wee Man, all of them, since their career started on TV, and back on MTV back in the day, between all of them, they have amassed an estimated cost of afflictions at $24 million worth of injuries. And this was a study commissioned by the Nova Legal Funding. And this is based off approximations, so it's not official in any way. But they guessed essentially on how much money has been spent on cast members' injuries, both sustained before, during, and in between filmings of all movies and series. And they put Johnny at top, obviously, at $8.6 million of potential injuries. Danger Aaron, you might know him as. So Aaron McGahey at $7.38 million, and Steve-O at number 3 with $5.82 million. Then it goes down the list: Dave England, Wee Man, and they did not include Bam because of ongoing issues. So Bam might be in the top 3 and probably knock out the fact that Danger Aaron's number 2. That's wild. Because Bam had his own show as well, so that would probably be included. And obviously, Wild Boys is including for Steve-O. And it just shows you who gets hurt the most and how they act on the show. Granted, Johnny does it because he's just always willing. And Danger Aaron sometimes is forced into it. But so essentially what they did to make the list is they focused on a cast member, worked out average costs based off what experts would say and probably insurance and hospitals, and they came up with a total figure of $24,263,000. But this is only based on reported injuries, so not actual. We don't know the real cost, essentially. And that's wild to me. So, and this is they also broke it down. So, looks like there was at least 28 broken bones, 36 head injuries, an alligator-related injury. It's theorized that Johnny Knoxville's had at least 16 concussions in his life, including a brain hemorrhage, which he received during filming of Jackass Forever. 16 concussions. The man is like in his 50s, and he's had 16 concussions, and he's just still a fucking champ. Man is Johnny Knoxville is built different. Wow. They went on to say Danger Aaron has at least had 3 broken necks and 9 knee surgeries. That's $3.8 million alone of his money. Steve-O has had a fractured skull, which was $1.7 million alone. Broken his teeth 7 times, and that's another $350,000. So the CEO of NLF, who are the experts that calculated this, said, quote, "We wanted to show how much these painful accidents cost in medical bills, so fans of the show can appreciate the financial and medical consequences of living such an adrenaline-fueled life." Unquote. Well, obviously, they always say, do not perform these things. They said that the bills may be closer to $38 million if they really took everything into consideration. And yeah, that's a lot, man. Oh, Jesus. And mind you, these guys have been on the air since 2000. So 2000 is when the show first started, and now the 4th movie is coming out in 2022. So it's been about over 20 years that these guys have been doing constant pain and battering. Oh my God, that is crazy to think about, that they've been doing it for this long, and none of them thankfully have sustained major life-threatening issues or injuries. Of course, Ryan Dunn, R.I.P., he unfortunately died in a car crash that was unrelated to normal Jackass shenanigans. And moving over to movies here a bit, or we're already in movies. Moving over to some other news. Denis Villeneuve, I need to learn how to say his name, has been making the rounds for Dune. Of course, reviews have finally come out for Dune, even though the movie doesn't come out for a couple more weeks. Looks like it's people are loving Dune. At least the critics are giving it really good reviews. I'm excited for Dune. He did say he wants to film like 3 parts. And he did say as soon as he gets the green light for part 2, he is ready to go start filming. Obviously, he needs his stars ready for that. And I am very, very excited for when Dune comes out. Like I said, it's just a few short weeks. It's just over a month. And we will, of course, be talking about Dune on this podcast. So stick with Nick's Nerd News for movie coverage of Dune in the next few weeks. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. After all the rumors of delays, it's moving up a week, so it will now be releasing a week early on October 1st, 2021. So you don't have to wait too much longer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage if you plan on seeing it. We are getting a new trailer for the Matrix Resurrections tomorrow. Also an old website has been resurrected, if you will. Watchthematrix.com, and it lets you choose a red or a blue pill. Obviously, there's a couple different teaser trailers. We've gotten some first look images, and Neo is looking a lot like John Wick. I don't know why they did that. I guess Keanu didn't want to shave or cut his hair. Our first look at Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Our first look at Carrie-Anne Moss's Trinity again. And some other interesting characters. Looks like we're going back to the Nebuchadnezzar, maybe. And that trailer drops tomorrow. So we'll definitely be talking about it on next week's episode. And then the final bit of TV or movie news I wanted to talk about today, of course, was Shang-Chi. I saw it on Sunday with some buddies. And honestly, it's my favorite Marvel movie now. Shang-Chi is my favorite Marvel movie. I've been thinking about it the last few days. And the fight choreography is damn near amazing. There are a lot of great characters in the film. Awkwafina is honestly the heart of the movie, and she's hilarious in it. Spoiler alert, Trevor Slattery is back, so if you've seen Iron Man 3, you know who I'm talking about. And Wen Wu, who is technically the Mandarin, the owner of the Ten Rings, is one of the best villains and most nuanced villains in the MCU after Thanos. And you can almost sympathize with him in a way. The end is a very unexpected, like, super CGI spectacle that was great, though. There's this really fucking cool dragon fighting this, like, demon beast. Michelle Yeoh, elegant as ever. And the newcomer, Meng-Er, who plays Shang-Chi's sister, she is a newcomer, and she honestly, for never like really acting in a movie before, she killed it, man. She is great in the film. Like I said, I am like loving Shang-Chi way more than I didn't have a high bar going in, right? Because obviously some Marvel movies lately have been kind of like Black Widow, no stakes. I'm like, what am I doing here? Why is this movie coming out now and not like 4 years ago before Endgame, right? Or at least before Infinity War or something. I don't know, but you know what I mean. But this movie was great. The fighting, like I said, fight choreography is amazing. The cameos are perfect. Right? The Abomination and Wong and the mid-credit scene that you need to watch. The like attention to detail in terms of like how someone in his early 20s might be living in today's world, like that is very realistic. And then just honoring family and sticking to values of Asian cultures and making sure that they don't westernize it, they don't whitewash it in any way, and that's what I like about the movie, because it is great. And it apologizes for some past sins that the MCU has made in regards to that. But other than that, like, I had fun watching it, and Simu Liu is great as Shang-Chi. Like I said, Awkwafina is like the heart of the movie. Just it is a 10 out of 10 for me. It is by far the best Marvel movie to me, next to like Endgame. And I would definitely urge you guys to go see it if you haven't seen it yet. It was a great watch. It's worth a rewatch. Overall, it was just a great, fun movie, and a lot of things just fit perfectly and make sense, and nothing that seems too much of a stretch in that world. and it allows also for us to start getting used to like the mythical world and the other dimensions, and more of an look at like transdimensional stuff and not necessarily like religious stuff, but like I said, like mythical stuff and things that play into legends and magic and things like that. We got a taste of it obviously with the first Doctor Strange, but Shang-Chi leans into it and opens the door, for more, like with what happened in WandaVision and what's coming up with possibly Spider-Man No Way Home, and then of course Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness. So I am very excited to see where things go, and I can't wait for what's next. And with that being said, that is it for me today on our 174th episode of Nick's Nerd News. Of course, I am your host, Nick. You can check me out on my own social medias. Also, check out shoutcasting that I do for the 101 Esports League in Oceanside. Catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/the 101 League. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that. We'll be live tomorrow doing Pokemon Sword and Shield from 6 to 10. I will be shoutcasting and competing. Then on Friday night, we're shoutcasting from 6 to 10-ish. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be on Twitch as well. And then we'll be shoutcasting. I'll be shoutcasting. They'll be hosting Super Smash Bros. Melee on Saturday from noon to 4. That is Thursday night. Tomorrow night's Pokemon and Saturday's Melee are both at Panels Comic Book Coffee Bar. Great local business. It's a coffee bar and comic shop. And hope to see you guys there or on the stream. Also, don't forget to check out nicksnerdnews.com, where you can listen to the show right in your browser, or if you prefer to take us on the go, you can find links to our Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify pages. That way you guys can like, share, subscribe, drop a review, all that good stuff. Also, while you're there, check out our social media tab, where you can find our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds, where we post a lot of fun memes, or just search Nick's Nerd News on your preferred social media platform of choice. Like I said, I'm Nick. Thank you guys for listening. I will catch you guys on the flip side.